you're dead. Well, there's some searchers consider themselves dead, or at least consider their solve dead. Where does Forrest tell us that it wasn't the treasure we were looking for? It wasn't the treasure we had to find. No. His father was trying to find a substitute. What is a substitute? A substitute is a proxy. We were looking for the proxy, the magic bullet, the car. Yay, hey. I mean, I'm going to play this. I just made this. I give the important information to AI, and it.
Forrest Fenn's Proxy and the Bullet Vehicle. The enigmatic world of the enigmatic Forrest Fenn's Proxy and the Bullet Vehicle. The enigmatic world of treasure hunting. It's often filled with riddles, poetry, and of course, a generous sprinkle of intrigue. One of the more captivating figures in this realm was the late Forrest Fenn, whose treasure chest, rumored to hold over $1 million in gold and jewels, incited a generation of thrill seekers. But Fenn's stories were often laced with cryptic clues, and at the heart of one particular hint lies the concept of a proxy. Fenn's father and the quest for a substitute in an intriguing narrative twist. Forrest Fenn hinted at a proxy when he shared tales of his father, who was searching for a substitute. This notion of a proxy in the treasure hunt adds a layer
You didn't find the substitute.
and depth, akin to a Russian nesting doll. The more you peel back, the more secrets you uncover. To some, substitute implies something less, but in treasure hunting, it can mean something entirely different, an alternative pathway to glory. Now, let's unpack this concept a little further. A proxy can often be thought of as a stand-in or representation for something else. In Fenn's treasure hunt, it appears that the vehicle he metaphorically referred to as the bullet
magic
carries
bullet.
significant weight. But what could this bullet signify? Buckle up, dear readers. We're about to embark on a wild ride. The discovery of Tired and Weak on September 9th, 2016. A treasure hunter named Bill Gorman found the bullet vehicle, nestled in the subtle hues of the Tired and Weak Tucker Ponds, Colorado. Now, if you're thinking of exhausted pond water, led by a husky frog in need of a nap, you'd be mistaken. Tired and Weak here hints at a different concept altogether, imbued with a certain poetic essence that Fenn loved to incorporate into his tales. For those unfamiliar with the land, Tucker Ponds bask in the sun-dappled meadows, an ideal backdrop that, curiously enough, can spell the word wood. Now, that's a cheeky hint wrapped in layers of metaphor. When thinking about the combination of tired and weak, one can't help but wonder if Fenn was perhaps suggesting that even the most exhausted regions can harbor treasures, much like the human endeavor, full of toil but rich in rewards. Tired and weak is basically the definition of the word tuckered, bringing us to Tucker Ponds, clearly a subtle hint. Meadows that spell would picture this. Vast stretches of serene meadows, with wildflowers dancing in the warm Colorado breeze. And here we are, unraveling the significance of the spelling of wood. Could it be a literal reference to trees, or perhaps a nod towards something more symbolic? There's a delightful disconnect between what lies above and what burrows beneath, much like the layered nature of Fenn's treasure hunt itself.
See, wood is a word. It's not just the things that it describes, it's a word. And if you look down from the airplane and you see the meadows in the shape of the letters of the word wood, you're in the wood. And he prayed for D's. The car was in the D. Skippy's helicopter contraption was in the W. I'm going to continue this.
Reality of spiritual forests overflowing with mystery and metaphor proves irresistible. Just imagine wandering through these idyllic settings, perhaps even waving to a few bewildered rabbits as you hunt for clues that could lead to vast riches. You might be reading into it, sure, But Fenn's world was notorious for disguise and misdirection. Decoding the proxy, returning to the idea of the bullet and the proxy,
Yeah.
one can gather that it's much more than just a simple hint. It's an embodiment of Fenn's philosophy of life, adventure, and self-discovery. A vehicle with heft and speed, like a bullet, can symbolize the journey, the path you embark on while seeking the treasure. It's about finding your substitute for the ultimate end goal, be it wisdom, friendship, or, let's be honest, cold, hard cash. And remember, bullets go straight to their target. This proxy, the bullet, can also highlight the very essence of human tenacity. A point of interest that's well worth exploring is how Fenn's treasure led people not merely towards material wealth, but towards personal growth and bonding with nature, often unearthing friendships through shared quests. Who could have imagined that a treasure hunt could so influence lives, friendships, and even epiphanies? Conclusion. A journey beyond treasure to wrap things up in a tidy little bow, perhaps one of Fenn's own, if one can be found. The story behind the proxy and the bullet goes far beyond mere coordinates and maps. It tackles the essences of searching for something greater in a world filled with distractions. Fenn believed, and rightly so, that our quests often lead to self-discovery as much as the treasure itself. So, as you tow your metaphorical boat through life, remember that sometimes the bullet you need isn't just a shortcut to gold, but the journey itself, filled with laughter, challenges, and irreplaceable moments. Happy
Yeah, the bullet, the magic bullet that Stoof mentioned. Stoof mentioned the blaze or magic bullet, the blaze, careen. Well, the Buffalo Cowboy car careened. The guy that got killed in the car accident, the car careened. The cars careen. I mean, all these words that Stoof quoted in a remembrance to Forrest Fenn, after he says, I guess since he's dead, I can talk about his quotes. People love to ignore what he said, and then they ignore what's in the quotes in the remembrance. The magic bullet, the blaze, the careen, those all tie to the car. It might not have careen mentioned in the Thrill of the Chase in this book, but careen is mentioned in the Buffalo Cowboy story in Ramblings and Rumblings. Stoof is an imposter. He's an imposter. He's a stand-in. He's a proxy himself for the real finder. He's a substitute. My father was trying to find a substitute. Why didn't you try and find a substitute? You were looking for that bronze box full of gold. Sorry, friends, but not all treasure is silver and gold. Forrest Fenn treasured those cars. Don't you know that car was a part of his family? Well, it was a part of my family. You know, the stick in the box. Yeah, I wanted to have something of myself in the stick man. The stick represents the stick man, right? I put a stick man in the box. Huh. See, something like a straw man, a substitute, you know. Um, anyhow, let me play another thing. Let's see about Jack Stoo's remembrance article.
Welcome in, everyone. Diving into this Forrest
Oh,
Fenn
this is a
stuff,
long
well, you've really sent us
one.
down a rabbit hole with these excerpts. We've got pieces of his memoir, stories people told
And
about him, even some thoughts from the guy who actually
Dave Woodard thought because of the voices in this AI app that I found and I used, that Toby saw my video and went searching for the app. He found the app that I used. It's not hard to find. It's from Google, and he just well, Gorman found something really good AI here to explain what you're trying to tell people, and so he just happened to use the same thing as me. I have no affiliation with Toby and Shelley. They gaslighted me. I said that the gypsies lack imagination, and for that I was accosted and banned from the community, banned from every channel, because I said the gypsies lack imagination. Whoever knew that such innocent statement could be so volatile? They weaponized what I said to say. And she says, "Oh, Bill Gorman just personally insulted me. Thank you, moderators, for keeping the room safe." Cunt. Sorry. Did I say that? Really? That was really rude. And then, and especially when you find out that you gaslighted and banned the person that actually figured this out, you're going to crawl in a hole. You're never going to talk about Forrest again. You're done. Because there will be real media wanting the story, and not just a couple of gypsies who lack imagination, who have no clue that a, that a substitute is a proxy. When I had trouble with going with taking my pet parrot Togo to Canada, when I was coming back into the U.S. and the Canadians took him, and so there was a trial, because I was being charged with parrot trafficking, and I had a person up in Canada, the person I was visiting in Canada, because I would have trouble if I went to the border, but I would have been let in to go to court if I really wanted to go back to Canada. That could have got me back into Canada, just going to court. And they would have only given me time to go there and get the hell out, but anyhow, I had my friend in Canada act as my proxy. What my proxy is a substitute for me. She acted as a substitute, went to court with my letter of what I, that they were holding my parrot hostage and charging me with this. It was all BS, and the judge ordered them to release Togo within 48 hours and waived all fines and sentencing and fines and all. So there was no fine, no charge, no time, nothing. But I'm still considered a convicted parrot trafficker. You ever been arrested? Yeah, for parrot trafficking. They laugh. Oh, I gotta laugh at that. That's what? Parrot trafficking? What's that? I'll get my chat on here. Wasn't the bullet that hit Connolly? Yeah, it was. It was. It's called the magic bullet. But if you look up the definition of magic bullet, it's something that brings a quick resolution to a previously solvable problem, like candy. Magic bullet. The magic bullet stopped candy. Like Trump's magic bullet saved him. He was blessed with a near miss. He could have been. I mean, right through the ear, it could have been just as very close to doing exactly what happened to Kennedy. So I can continue
Actually
this.
found the treasure.
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack, almost like we're trying to, I don't know, build a picture of a guy who told you everything and nothing all at once. You know?
This is Stoof's. This is what AI. All I gave it was Stoof's AI, or Stoof's remembrance of Forrest Fenn.
No?
Exactly. That's what's so interesting about him, right? That mix of being totally open but still having this mystery about him. So I guess we got to start with the basics. Forrest Fenn himself. I mean, this guy's life. Talk about a life less ordinary.
Absolutely, yeah. You're talking Vietnam War
Gotta find
pilot,
a
surviving a crash in the Laos jungle, then boom, a big-time art dealer, writing books. The man did not sit still.
He sure didn't. And oh,
Why did he crash? He was shot down with bullets. His canopy was shot with a bullet. And so once his canopy shattered and gone, what is his canopy when the plane's canopy is gone? His canopy is the sun and the stars, or the canopy of stars. Without the canopy on his plane, or without a car with no top, driving at night under a canopy of
he's
stars.
up for a challenge. Like that story, I can't get over it. Where he kills a mountain lion for a bounty, then has to climb down this crazy canyon just to get the body.
It's nuts. Shows you that adventure spirit, right? But there's this other side to it, too. And it comes out in his writing. I mean, here's this fearless explorer type, but he's really open about his struggles, like even with self-esteem, which you wouldn't expect.
Huh. So pushing limits in every way, huh? Physically and mentally.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder about that treasure hunt, right? Especially later in his
I'm
life.
streaming, so
He's got
I
all these
suppose
sources
somebody
and
else.
he found a community with those searchers, but it feels
Dave
deeper somehow.
Olson.
Totally.
The
It wasn't
guy
some game to him, that treasure hunt. It was
had nothing
connecting with
but a
people,
book
sharing
from
his love for being out in
a
nature, maybe even working through some stuff
news
internally.
celebrity.
Who knows?
Like it gave him a whole new energy, right?
Yeah.
Having this secret, this big puzzle only you know the answer to that'd keep anyone sharp. And even in his 80s, he's out there talking to these searchers, answering questions, dropping hints. Never a dull moment.
Yeah, the treasure hunt, it was like
The elephant in the room.
vitality for him, a way to stay plugged into the world and, I guess, leave his mark.
So, speaking of that treasure hunt, let's give our listener the rundown. I mean, a chest full of gold and jewels, hidden somewhere in the Rocky Mountains. A poem with clues. Sounds like a movie.
And for Jack Stoof, the guy who found it, it was a movie, but with a lot of frustration. I mean, he talks about searching 25 days in one spot, just hitting dead ends, almost ready to quit.
And then, bam, he finds it. The emotion of it all. The guy bursts into tears. It's wild that Fenn actually predicted that the finder would cry when they found it.
Shows you the power of it all, you know? Not just the thrill
Maybe
of the
I-
hunt, but like the weight of finding
It's my,
something so personal. Don't forget where that treasure was.
other
That's
audio.
where Fenn wanted to die. It was deeply meaningful to him.
Wow, yeah, adds a whole other dimension to it, doesn't it? Almost like by
Turned
finding the
what I
treasure,
have.
Stu
That-
got
there,
a
that
piece of
gets
Fenn
better 'cause,
himself.
Creates this weird bond between them, right? The
Me
hunter
listening
and the
at the same time.
creator, connected by this secret that only
I'm
they
playing.
truly understand.
Yeah.
But like any big adventure, there's two sides.
because it's
Like
on my
the treasure
speakers.
hunt, inspiring people, getting them out in
Yeah.
nature, giving them
Is there a
hope.
But then you have the
all.
dark side, right? People getting obsessed,
that
greedy,
sound.
feeling like they deserve the treasure.
Yeah.
Some even face danger, you know? Some even died trying to find it.
Sad reminder that
Yeah,
even
maybe
good
won't interfere.
intentions, dangle enough money in front of folks, things can go south.
Absolutely.
better?
But amidst all that chaos, Fenn's doing good
Tiger.
too, right?
Are you Tony?
His book sales helped out a local bookstore, and he even raised money for cancer research. The guy was
Tony the
giving
Tiger,
back,
that-
even while
that's how we-
orchestrating this massive
figure out who
plan.
Tiger
But
is.
we can't forget how he protected Stoof's identity, even though some people doubted if the hunt was even real. He put Stoof's safety above needing to prove everyone wrong.
Shows his character.
Yeah, you can,
for sure. But then there's that Blaze thing, remember?
Use a link at the
Stoof calls Fenn about
top.
the
Anybody
theory
wants
might
to
be
talk about
fake
that. I
and
mean,
the actual
it's the
spy.
crucial.
Fenn's
critical
reaction. Totally chill. Like
information.
it was nothing.
And
Man, the guy
he
knew
wants
how
to
to play
talk about.
it cool.
Oh, because
Master of keeping secrets, wouldn't you say?
Oh,
I
absolutely.
know.
Telling you
I know.
just enough
I
to
got a
keep
lot
you
of
hooked
haters out there.
without spilling the beans.
And then
A lot
you've
of-
got that double
No,
omega
I don't know
symbol
if they're
that he
haters.
pops
They're
up
just
in the
jealous.
thrill of the chase. And his earlier book about
They
Eric
didn't
Steen,
have
the
the
artist.
smarts to figure it out.
It's like a secret signature, but we don't know what it means.
Makes you think, right? What's
I'm
the
loud.
connection between those two books? Is there something
I'm
deeper
loud.
we're just
It's,
not
I turned
seeing?
down the other
And it
sound.
ties
Now
back to
I'm
whether Fenn even wanted the treasure found while he was
loud.
alive.
Yeah, I was
He
always.
seemed unsure, like maybe he almost
It's,
preferred the chase to
you can
keep
always turn your
going,
microphone, your
even after
speakers
he was
down.
gone.
Man, Forrest Fenn, what a puzzle. Seems like he built his whole legacy around keeping people guessing, even long after he's gone. The guy was all about
When I was
layers,
raised, my dad always
He
told me,
had to
"Speak
make
up,
sure there was
speak
always
up. I can't
something else to find, another
hear you."
secret hidden
So I speak
somewhere.
up,
And it wasn't just the
and
treasure
that's
hunt
just the
either.
way
Right. It's like he was a
I
prankster
was
at
taught
heart. Always loved to keep
to
people
speak so
guessing.
people can
Like,
hear
remember
you.
that story about him telling his kids the car's odometer was showing tenths of a mile
Don't
instead of
mumble.
whole miles?
Mm-hmm.
Made that drive to Yellowstone seem a lot shorter for them.
Oh, yeah, I read that one.
No.
Classic Finn. So creative, But he wasn't all fun and games,
I'll let you
though.
keep
The
listening
guy
to
was
that. I got my
resourceful. Like
turned down,
trading
but
his family's extra fish for
it's
groceries when
beautiful
things were
volume
tough,
of that.
starting his own marble business at 8 years old.
Seriously, 8 years old. That's amazing. You could see that entrepreneurial spirit early on, huh? Like he was born knowing how to make things happen.
Absolutely. And that
I
never
I
left him,
told a lot of
Digging wells,
people I
delivering
don't have
blogs,
puppet
dealing
strings.
art.
Uh,
Always up for a challenge. Work ethic, that's for sure.
Probably came from his dad, right?
I
Remember
watch
how
a
his
lot of
family always
videos,
stopped and took off
and
their hats when a funeral went
they're
by?
so quiet.
Shows you the kind of
Even
values
with
he grew
big
up with.
giant
Yeah,
Bluetooth
strong moral
speakers that
compass. Respect for
you can
tradition.
amplify,
But he
you
wasn't
can't
afraid
hear
to
them
bend the
still. You're
rules
still
a little
struggling to hear
himself
them.
either, was he? Sneaking out
And,
of Spanish
and
class.
they think, oh, because
Huh.
people said I was
A little bit
loud.
of a rebel, huh? But
Well,
even when he was pushing it, he did it with that charm, that wit. Hard to stay mad at the guy.
And loyal, especially
and
to
so
his
they turn it down
friends.
so
Those
nobody,
adventures with Donnie Joe, the
either
long friendship with
everybody can hear them or
Constantwood.
nobody can hear them.
You see a different
Always
side of
better
him
to
there.
be
The one who valued those connections.
to
Yeah,
have
those
your
friendships were
volume a
important
little
to him.
higher
Gave him a sense of
because
belonging, a shared history. And of
I mean,
course,
you
you
try and
can't
listen to
forget
something on a
Peggy, his
phone, it's like
wife.
you
High
got to hold
school
it up in your ear and
sweethearts.
you
They were together
can't look
forever.
at it.
That's a
Watch the
real
video
love
while you're
story.
It
trying to hear
really
it.
is. He even bought her that black 35
So
Plymouth, the Bullet they
being a
called
little
it.
loud is better than
Talk
not
about
being heard.
romantic.
Now that's a grand gesture. Shows you there was a big heart under that adventurous exterior. And a mischievous one, too. Remember him putting a bear's head under someone's covers as a prank?
Oh man, classic Fenn. Outrageous,
Yeah,
hilarious,
put a
and so
bear's
him. The
head
guy
under
just knew
someone's
how to
covers.
connect with people, create these unforgettable
I
moments.
put a
Larger
lizard
than
in my
life,
friend's tent once. He
Absolutely.
woke
And
up
then there's his
and,
time in the Air Force, being a pilot.
the lizard
He
was
talks
sitting on
about
his
it, the training
head.
mishaps, flying the F-100. It's all told with this confidence, but also like he's not taking himself too seriously.
You can just feel that passion for flying, can't you?
Probably had a connection.
No doubt his military service had a huge impact on him.
Totally. Discipline, resilience,
He's got this
facing the unknown, and
drone
then Vietnam, getting shot down
on
twice,
a
surviving in the jungle,
Temu for
seeing the
$23.
horrors of war. I mean, those are some heavy
I haven't flown it yet.
experiences.
It's hard to
I
even
got to charge the
imagine. It
batteries
shows you a
even yet.
level of
But
courage and resourcefulness that's just
pretty neat little drone.
wow. Makes the treasure hunt seem
I don't think it has
almost tame
GPS.
in comparison, right?
It's all part of the bigger
It has
picture, isn't it? I
obstacle
mean, this guy who
avoidance.
lived
That's
several
important,
lifetimes in one.
That's for
especially
sure. But we've been
if you're
focusing on
flying
the
it in
good
the woods.
stuff, the positive sides
It
of
won't
Fenn.
crash into the tree.
But we gotta acknowledge the other side too, the one Eli
Stays
Levin
away from
presents
things.
in his book Santa Fe Bohemia. He paints a very different picture
And sometimes
of
I'm trying
Fenn,
to get
doesn't he?
close to a rock, and
Yeah,
I can't
puffy
exactly
old
where it is, and I'm
alcoholic, he called him.
fearful to
Criticized
get
his
close
writing,
enough.
even said
The
some pretty
obstacle
harsh
avoidance
things
will
about
make
Peggy.
it so I
Not exactly
can
flattering.
get close without
It's a big
worrying.
contrast to everything we've been talking about. Makes you realize that different people can have totally different takes on the same person.
That's true. It's all about perspective, right? It's important to see the
You
whole
didn't
picture,
find
even
the
the parts
Proxy.
that aren't
I
so
did.
pretty. It's worth
The
mentioning,
treasure
though,
chest
that Levin's book really
was never
focuses on a
out there. You
specific
had to find
time
the
in
Proxy.
Fenn's life, his early days in Santa Fe.
Yeah, and they were pretty different guys, Levin and Fenn. Levin was all about that counterculture scene, while Fenn was just starting out in the Santa
Forrest
Fe art world.
was
So
the hair
their
in the
personalities, their
box.
views on art and life, it just clashed.
What is his
So
sample of
even
hair
though
in the
Levin's
box? I didn't see it in
criticisms are
the
out
jar.
there, they don't necessarily erase everything else we've learned
So,
about Fenn.
and
It's all
Jackie
part of
Kane
what makes
just
him so complex.
took a
War
lock of
hero, successful
JFK's hair.
businessman, family man, prankster, master of mystery. It's a
So you
lot to
can't.
take in.
It is. And that complexity, that's what
I have
makes
a
his
video
story so interesting.
with this
But we've spent a
audio
lot of
on it.
time on the man behind the treasure. Now I
You
think it's time to look at the legacy he
can
left
listen just to
behind.
it with it.
Now that the treasure's
higher
found,
volume.
what happens to the spirit of the chase?
That's the big question now, right?
Look,
They
I
don't
mean, the
let you
treasure, the actual gold and
turn
jewels,
your
that's gone.
music
So what's left?
because
Does that sense of adventure
they call
Fenn
it music,
sparked
and it's
in
like
so many people, does
maybe
that
I'm
just
trying to play some
vanish too?
audio of people
Well, that's what's
talking
so interesting to think about.
so
I mean,
people
the
can hear it,
physical
not
treasure,
just
yeah,
some
that's
light
done.
background.
But all those people, they went on this real life adventure, you know? They were out there exploring, figuring out clues, making friends online and in person. That doesn't just disappear overnight.
It really did create a whole community, didn't it?
Nobody coming
Like a
in,
shared experience that went way
nobody
beyond
watching.
just finding some treasure.
Exactly. And maybe that's the
I,
real treasure, you know? The friendships, the memories, finding that love for the outdoors. Those are things nobody can take away.
You know, earlier you were talking about how Fenn wasn't sure if he even wanted the treasure found while he was alive.
Hmm.
Makes you wonder, did he know all along that the chase was more important than the prize at the end?
Hmm.
7 weeks.
Interesting thought. It's
I'm just retrieving
possible,
that.
right? Maybe he knew that the real legacy of this whole thing
The
wouldn't be
muscles are
gold
still.
and jewels, but the impact it had
We
on
got
everyone who got
we got
involved.
my
So even though the hunt is over, that spirit of adventure,
final follow
it's
up on
still out
Mark.
there. Maybe it even leads to new treasure hunts, new ways for people to explore and engage with
Physical
the world.
Could be,
therapy
yeah.
next
I
week.
mean, that desire for mystery, that thrill of finding something new, that's just part of being
Yeah, I got
human. Hardwired to explore, you know?
It's like
just
Fenn's story
breaking
is
my car,
reminding us that there's still a
floor
sense of
jam,
wonder out there, even when the world feels
wedges
kind of predictable and boring sometimes.
You got it.
because
It's
my
about
don't
embracing the
work,
unknown, taking a
and somehow
chance, and
the door.
finding joy in the journey, not just the destination. That's a
Gotta
powerful message, and I think it speaks to all of us in some
make it
way.
So what about you
thankful.
listening right now? Maybe this is the push you need to finally go on that hiking trip you've been putting off,
Hmm.
or to crack
It's been
open that
found.
book on codes and ciphers you've had your eye on.
Yeah, or even just start looking at the world with a little more curiosity.
Exactly. Whatever it is, let Fenn's story inspire you. Embrace the mystery. Go on your own adventures. And never stop looking for the treasures that are hidden inside you and all around you.
Well said.
And on that,
You can stop looking for Fann's treasure because I found it when I brought the bullet to Santa Fe Forest 5 months later. Published Once Upon a While with the star, the asterisk on the cover. At the end of the line is an asterisk. And this is important literature. Here are your answers. Um, Captain America. Why was Captain America in there? He had a bulletproof shield. Forrest had a bulletproof shield until the 80s. No shield. I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm tired of all these people and these people harassing me over the treasure and shit. You know, he even I don't know if he was going senile or he's acting or what. When I called him on May 27th of 2020, I told him I found his blaze. I found his bullet car. I found Moses. I found all these parts. You know, there were some parts that I figured out later, but when I put all these parts together, it's a contiguous stream of undeniable, undeniable parallels to the facts. The facts are in the book. The parallels are what you find out here in nature. It's 1 degree of synchronicity. That's why Kevin Bacon sucks. He was 6 degrees of synchronicity, or 6 degrees of separation. I'm 1 degree of synchronicity. Synchronicity means we got a match here. These things match. They're synchronous. They line up with each other. Uh, when he said my father was trying to find a substitute, he wanted us. He was telling us we had to find a proxy. A substitute is a proxy for the real substitute for Miss Ford is a proxy for Miss Ford. Is a proxy is a substitute. And here he substituted the car for the treasure. Out in the blazing sun in the middle of the meadow, surrounded by trees, in meadows that spell the word wood, and the car was in the D. It had a bullet hole through the fuel tank, just like his Super Saver. This the sofa cushion springs, the sofa cushion he was sitting on, the springs were found a couple 100 feet in front of the car by the creek. It all lines up. It was worth the cold because they had to walk home. They had to go 7 miles to find Cody. And so when they wrecked the car, they didn't have anything to drive back because the front axle's torn off. They had to walk home 7 miles after they got dumped in the creek, and it was cold that day. So it was worth the cold. It was fun. We didn't realize how much fun. I didn't realize how much fun it was till much later. And you realize, so it was worth it because he has this great story about roping a buffalo. You had to be, you can tell me somebody that goes up and puts a rope around some buffalo's horns ain't brave, other than stupid. That's a pretty brave thing to do. And then Forrest, at the people are looking towards Cody. Oh, Cody, Wyoming, Cody, Wyoming, Cody, Wyoming. No, Cody's name was Bill. You dumb shits. His name was Bill. People were looking toward. He was telling people, look towards Bill. Bill was the one that did this. Gosh. I don't. All I can do is repeat myself. I told you what the solution was, but your bias combined with your ignorance. Ignorance means you don't listen, you don't pay attention, you don't try and figure what is the behind what he's saying here. Is this actually true? Yes, it's actually true. There's ignorance because you're ignoring the truth that I tell you. So when you ignore something, that is called ignorant. So don't be ignorant is what I'm trying to tell you. Don't be ignorant. Listen hard, listen good. I want all within the sound of my voice to listen and to heed what I have to say, especially you, Mr. Gore, from my cold, dead hands. It's worth the cold to get it from my cold, dead hands. And that was said by Charlton Heston, a.k.a. Moses, a.k.a. the Omega Man. Oh. And what did he drive in Omega Man? Ford convertibles. He had a Mustang and a LTD or something like that. Or Ford Galaxy. I don't know what it was. I think it was an LTD, though. But, and then Ford, oh, yeah, an earthquake, that's right. Well, Charlton Heston was an earthquake, too. People call him Moses. Lorraine Mills said, oh, we all know Moses is or Charlton Heston is the chest because he's got this hairy chest, right? All you got to do is watch Planet of the Apes. You can see him naked. And you didn't know Charlton Heston was naked in Planet of the Apes? He dared it all. They were swimming, and then the apes stole the people stole their clothes. They went chasing the people, and then they got caught by the apes. I don't see nobody wants to talk about it because Bill's right and they're wrong. They don't want to have a conversation about the real solution, the real true answers. And it's crazy. The Dr. Pepper 24 10/2/24. That came and went in October last year. But there's some, Forrest Fenn's house is off the market. It's no longer listed on Realtor.com. If you go to Realtor and you click on his where his house is, it says um, uh, no longer listed. You know, off the market. Um, did and then the realtor page says that it's worth $3 million. They're trying to sell it for $5 million, $4.7 million. Blah, blah, blah. Why? Maybe because they knew nobody would buy it at that price. They were just preserving it. Because if realtor says it's only worth 3, then it might be worth 4 at the most, or 3.5. But also, somebody told me that the family's just trying to skim some of his money, because I think maybe if they close the probate, because they know what the probate says, who won. What Forrest told them who won, and as long as they hold on to it, that person can't get it. So they're not closing the probate to prevent the true solver from collecting on the prize. Well, the true solver doesn't have running water, and they live in mansions. Very elitist. Very elitist. And you know, he only had daughters. He didn't have a son. Mothers, women, control freaks. They control the family, you know. And sometimes they can't control their man, but they're in control of the family. You know, even my brother, he's married for 43 years or so, and all of a sudden his wife and daughter pick up and leave him. You know, it's the control freak situation. My sister tries to control. You know, she was the oldest. She was the boss. We all called her the princess. Hopefully not watching. She knows we called her the princess. And you hear the band 9 Inch Nails? Here. Is that a 9 Inch nail? I got to measure it. I think that's a 9 Inch nail. I got to measure it. Yep, that's a 9 Inch nail. Oh, I got a ruler. I had a ruler right. It's right here on my desk. I saw it yesterday, but it's under my hat or something. Oh, that side of the desk is a pile of things that I recently got, and I sat on there, and it goes off. I need a box on the other side of the desk to catch the things that fall off the other side. But yeah, I found a bunch of these 9 Inch nails here on my property. I don't see anybody joining in. It took him 50 hours to drive to Yellowstone. He talked about looking out the window of the schoolhouse. And he said it was 50 hours of driving. I'm sure it took several days, not just 50. He didn't drive 50 hours straight. They stopped other places and camped on the way. So if you're driving 50 hours, if it's 50 hours of driving and you only do 35 miles an hour, usually after about 10 hours a day is the max. It is an average max of what somebody on a road trip drives. Maybe 10 hours a day is what you drive. So it would have taken 5 days and 4 or 5 campsites along the way. They camp. Where would you? You don't go camping in the middle of Kansas, in the middle of Oklahoma. No, you head over to the mountains and you go up through the mountains to get to Yellowstone. So they camp some places around here, you know. He knew Fred Harmon since 1973, a year after he got the gallery, a year after he moved to Santa Fe, started the gallery. He met Fred Harmon, who wrote Red Rider. And Red Rider, did I just fumble? Red Rider, did he just take the F off of Fred to make Red? Ferd, he took the R out. Red, he took the F out. Fred Harmon, just like the most important guy in important literature, Ernest Hemingway, shot himself. When he got cancer, he was dying. He didn't want to die that way, and he shot himself. Forrest said that he was going to end his own life alone. He was found on the floor. Obviously, he did what he said he was going to do. The death pictures that Dave has posted. Yeah. Selena. Yeah. I've been ignorant of some stuff, but when you have as many confirmations as I have, I can't be ignorant. When all you have is the truth, it's hard to be ignorant. The thing you're ignorant, when you have the truth, what do you ignore? The ignorant. You ignore the ignorant. So, yeah, nobody wants to talk. Maybe I'll make it a quickie video here. Because I've told you what I want to tell you, that there was a proxy. That my father was trying to find a substitute. A substitute is a proxy. Oh, Jill, you're so skinny, Jill. I don't know if she might have coyote in her. She's so skinny. And her pointed ears. She's a coyote that looks like an Australian shepherd. Australian cattle dog, rather. Oh. One more physical therapy. Good. As I go there and I had my cane. I have my cane right here. But the VA got me my cane. It came a day after the one I ordered. I waited a week and a half after the VA cane was ordered. When it didn't come, I ordered one from Temu, and the one from Temu got here a day before the one from the VA. It got here a week and a half faster than the one. I got a cane from China faster than I got from the Veterans Administration in the U.S. So it's a cheaper cane, but it does work. Selena. That looks like a Hummer, Selena. Pretty much the Hummers, the later model Hummers, and what's in the I mean, they come with the same engines they were putting in Chevys, and because General Motors bought Hummer, and then I heard that Hummer was sold to China. How stupid, you know? But anymore. It depends on where they're made. If they're making them in China, then the price is going to go way up because of tariffs. You, you can no longer make things cheaper there because there's a tariff attached to it that makes it more expensive. Um, I've always drove Chevys. I've always been American made. Till lately, I buy a lot of stuff from Temu because it's so dirt cheap. Like I got 20 pairs of socks was $5 and something. With the shipping, it was $8 and something. Okay, but it was late. Once it was late, I got $5 back, so it was $3 for 20 pairs of socks. That's 15 cents per pair of socks. You figure 20 goes into 105 times, and $3. Limbo dog, you gotta get fur in your mouth. And Jack got into something nasty 2 days ago. I'll say he got into some shit. He had shit on his face and shit in his fur. And it's like, you ain't coming in. You ain't getting on the bed, nothing. No. I don't have a hose here to just hose him down. But I did see a little pressure sprayer that comes with a pump and a hose that you can put it in a bucket. And I might get one of those. It's a little electric pump, and it'll pump up the water and give me enough pressure that I can wash the dogs at least. I just got my little table that you use when you're sitting in bed or whatever. You put it over your lap, put your laptop on, and just got that little table. I think I'm gonna, I gotta put a mouse pad on it because part of it tilts up for you. I got a nice little wooden one. You can put some fans on it if you want. And it has a little drawer on the side, and pretty nice. It's better than the plastic ones. The plastic ones, I figured, break real easy. But yeah, I was looking at Hummers. I just didn't like the idea of a 5-cylinder. I got the top, and man, that Tahoe, it picks up and goes. I found it won't it won't. I was wondering why you take this dirt road, back road here to get to town. It's like 13 miles of dirt road, and, it's straight right along the railroad tracks and smooth. And I noticed it wouldn't do over 98, 99 miles an hour. And so that means that the Tahoe has a governor. I was watching a police chase video, and they're chasing a Chevy Silverado, and he says, yeah, he'll top out at 100. They've all got a control to keep them from going over 100 miles an hour. But the speedometer goes to 120. You could probably break into the computer. I asked, I got new key fobs for it because the key fob, I lost the good one. It's a good one somewhere in here under the bed. I'm trying to look for it. I got this little endoscope that you plug into your phone, and you can stick it up your nose. You could probably put it in your, if you can tolerate it, put it in your stomach and take a look at what's gurgling in there. Probably wouldn't see much unless you just had a belly full of water. I don't know if it's waterproof or not, but you could probably dip the head of it in some waterproofing and make it waterproof. I hear doggy drinking. I got totes static, so the dog's on the other side of the tote. Jill, what are you doing, Jill? You come here, you stinker. You come here. She's coming. Come here, baby. Yes. She's a good dog. She hangs out with me. She'd protect. If somebody attacked me, she would protect me. Never had that situation. But when I was selling puppies, she was people coming around, because we're out here. We don't see many people. Albino turtle, haha. And you watch them Matt's off-road towing channel. That's where he goes and pulls people in their vehicles out of. I've never seen him rescue. I don't think I've seen him rescue a Hummer. Huh. They're pretty durable. And I watched the other guy, Casey LaBelle or whatever. He does same type of thing, but he's out in Oregon. He has track, triangle tracks on replaces wheels, and he goes out and rescues people out in the deep snow and stuff. And when I first seen them trucks with the tracks on the wheels instead of wheels, I thought, man, that'd be nice to have. But I think a set of those is $20,000-$30,000. It's not cheap. It's as much as your vehicle almost. So I guess one way you get a cheap old truck and then you can put them on it. I wouldn't mind having a set, but it just doesn't snow enough here in this part of Colorado. Right now, it's 40% chance of snow. It was 40% last night, 60% tonight, and there's no snow here. We got no snow so far. Predicted since and Thursday's going to be sunny. And my solar is charged up to almost 52 volts under a cloudy sky. It's kind of overcast. But it's windy, 24-mile-an-hour wind, and 40 degrees. It was up to 44 earlier, but this part of Colorado, and I was watching the weather, and they showed I-70, and there's all this blizzard, and it's not down here. I need to go down to Taos sometime and get a good Mexican dinner. I've asked people here in town, where's a good Mexican restaurant here? They don't know. There aren't any good ones. My aunt was Mexican, and she taught my mother how to make Mexican food and stuff. I think she's still alive. She's got to be near 90, because my uncle, my mother would be 90 years old this year on my birthday. She was born the same day, same year as Herb Alpert. Herb Alpert, Tijuana Brass guy. Dating game was my first concert, going to see the Tijuana Brass on my birthday. It was his birthday and my mother's birthday and my birthday. It was kind of a birthday party, right? But I didn't know. I had no idea he had the same birthday with him. But it's weird. Whoa, those numbers all line up. There's a lot of synchronicity in that. What is that? Down there like that. Go, woo. I saw somebody show up on YouTube that I ain't heard of for since middle '90s or so. I had it, Matthew Lesko, his book about government money, grants and giveaways and things. And he shows up on YouTube making videos still about government grants and stuff. I think he just got back into it or whatever, but he might have been in it and hadn't been on YouTube, but now he is, and a lot of people know about him now. But the guy wears this like clothing you'd see the Joker wear, uh, bright colors, and his glasses are like red and yellow, and you know, it's like clown suit kind of. And I said, I put in his chat, I said, "What happens when you wear your costume to Walmart?" I knew, everybody, people recognize him. I said, I'd recognize you. Yeah. My tar hole. So I basically told you what I wanted to tell you there. Let me see. How many watching? 4. So I'm going to make it a short one. You got the information. Forrest Fenn in the book, my father was looking for a substitute. So we are looking for a proxy. We were looking for the proxy. I got the proxy. And then somebody told me, Forrest told them that I was Bill Gorman's the closest, but he doesn't know it. You know what, Forrest? Bill Gorman knows it. You don't know that Bill Gorman knows it. Who's ever in control of this thinks Bill Gorman doesn't know it. I have plenty of evidence. The asterisk. Bill, code word for Cody. Bill Cody. Buffalo Bill. It just worked out that the finder was named Bill. His brother was Bill. His brother was WMF. If you got the license plate machine, after WMF, you go WMG. It rolls over to WMG after WMF. G comes after F. And that's my initials. So I even had his brother's first 2 initials and the initial after F. I'm the next click on the roller. There are too many number things, Peggy died the same day that Forrest Fenn's mother died, and she died on St. Francis of Assisi's birthday, and it was Charlton Heston's birthday. Yeah, I don't know. You got to figure it out. There's a proxy. When Forrest talks about substitutes in the book, and I think he mentioned substitutes more than once, and because if he mentioned it twice, it was important. Because the definition of a proxy is a substitute for something else. I had a proxy show up in court for me as a substitute for me. It's called in court. It's called a proxy. In other discussions, it's called a substitute. Who substituted you? Look at all the proxies that show up at the Oscars to accept awards and stuff. They're a substitute for the actual person. A substitute for the treasure chest is the car, the bullet, the magic bullet. And with the cushion springs in front of the car, by the creek, it's hard to deny that that's part of his Buffalo Cowboy story. So I'm just going to end it. Telling you over and over again the same thing, it doesn't help people from being ignorant. Hey, Amy. Yeah, where'd Jill? Jill went outside. It's windy and cold out there. I don't know how the dogs can, when it's really cold out there, yeah, Jill doesn't like going outside. When I went over to check my mailboxes a while ago, I went out to the car and Jill come out and hopped in. Jack stayed inside. He stayed inside till I got back. Boy, that wind. And I guess last night I had my roof vent open all night long. I was wondering, why is it cold in here? I've had the heater, and it's not that cold outside. I need a timer that opens it and closes it automatically. The one in the bathroom has an electric motor that does that. This one doesn't. I don't have the electric motor that closes it. If I had it, I could put a thermostat on it, and if it's cold outside, it could close. Sometimes it gets too hot in here, and I open it. That's what happened yesterday. It got too hot in here, and I opened it, and I forgot that I opened it and went to bed. But I'm going to end this. Father is trying to find a substitute. Bill Gorman found the substitute. When he brought the substitute to Santa Fe in June of 2019, February, and then in November 2017, I brought the Proxy to February, June of 2017, and in November of 2017, Forrest published Once Upon a While, with the star at the end of the line is the star. The star is the asterisk. This is the important literature. The chapter before freedom, before the price of freedom, was The Bullet Comes Home. It had Moses in the middle, and halfway from Moses to the front of the book is Captain America, and it's mostly showing his shield, his bullet shield. He was shielded against bullets. Forrest Fenn was bulletproof. There's even a Trump T-shirt I found that has Trump in Captain America with the shield, and it says bulletproof. So I got the bullet. Y'all know I have the bullet. Y'all want? Oh no, it was a shit. It didn't. This car matches Eric Sloan's 1930 Ford Model A. The cars all match. Return to Taos. He made 2 trips from back east to Taos. Eric Sloan is the man from the east. He's the one. He found that 1930 Model A and brought it out here. It could be Eric Sloan's car. Who knows? I don't know. But I think if he drove a 1930 Model A here in 1960, that thing's probably still around unless it got in an accident. Because anything 1930 Model A drivable in 1960, but it's probably been preserved quite a bit since then. And I'm going to go. I'm going to keep it short. Maybe more people watch the video. Adios. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Oh, it's not weekend. This is Tuesday. Every day's weekend for me. I'm on untaxable Social Security retirement, which they say they're going to fix Social Security and seniors will get more eventually. It's not just they're going to have a boost besides the cost of living, because really the seniors are That's what you pay it for your retirement. And we got screwed the most. Um, they just stopped. What was it? FEMA tried to get $79 million for putting up illegals at Gold Star hotels in New York City. And so that taught those hotels a lesson there, didn't it? Because they're not getting paid. They had all these people tear up their hotel and they didn't not getting paid for it. That said was probably to restore, do restorations, and now they don't even have the restoration money. You go to your insurance. I think it's a Pakistani hotel, one of them. But yeah, we don't need people taking jobs from people that work at McDonald's and Taco Bell and all that. We have enough people here without jobs. We just got to get them to get jobs. But I'm done. You know there was a substitute, a proxy. You can't deny it. Denying it only helps you to squash Bill. And you can't squash me. I'm bulletproof. Adios. Have a good day.